president cannot.
And we begin WRAL News at 4 with the breaking news happening in Miami. Of course, former President Trump pleading not guilty to federal charges of mishandling some of the country's most sensitive secrets after leaving the White House. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lena Tillett.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. The former president was booked and arraigned at a Miami courthouse. You're looking live as the motorcade leaves that courthouse. Inside the building, Trump was fingerprinted. He was booked. No mugshot was taken. The former president pleaded not guilty to the 37 felony counts, including obstruction and unlawful retention of defense information.
And he appeared alongside his valet, Walt Nauta, the alleged co-conspirator in this case. Mark Boyle is in the WRAL Live Center with the live reaction. Mark?
Well, we're getting some new information on what happened inside that courtroom. Mr. Trump is not expected and told not to talk with Mr. Nauta at all about this case. They will be together at times, travel together, but they are not expected or being allowed to discuss anything about it right now. These are live pictures coming in. You see protesters for and against Mr. Trump, and it was quite the day there in downtown Miami. And this is just one image. On my left here in the Live Center, these are aerials as Mr. Trump and the motorcade head back to the Miami International Airport where he'll fly to his resort there in New Jersey. And some of his spokespeople tell us that he will speak and address all of this later this evening. So we'll, of course, be monitoring for that. We want to go right now to some video. We can play this. This was actually one of the protesters that jumped out in front of the motorcade. Take a look right there in front, dressed up in that jail jumpsuit, Secret Service and police pulling him aside. He was taken into custody, or at least being detained in the process and questioned. But they were able to maneuver their way slowly through the streets there right outside that federal courthouse in downtown Miami. And so we saw the motorcade come out just before 4 o'clock this afternoon. And that is what we're monitoring here in the Live Center. I want to show you what's going to happen next, though. We're walking through all the stages of the day right now, just leaving the courthouse. This is stage 5, and then stage 6 is back to Bedminster, talk about where he will give that statement from his clubhouse there. So we're going to stay on this live picture here this afternoon. You will see everything play out here in the Live Center, including the departure from the Miami airport, heading back to New Jersey after a historical day with the former president before a judge in that courtroom. Back to you.
All right, you said it. Thanks, Mark. To be sure, the arrest and arraignment of former President Trump on alleged mishandling of classified documents is an historic moment for the country. To put it into context and share what's next, we're joined live via Zoom by UNC political science expert and professor Mark Hetherington. Professor Hetherington, how do you assess the gravity of what happened today?
Well, it's certainly unprecedented. You know, anybody who tells you they know exactly what's going to happen and such, they're crazy. This is uncharted territory for the country and for the future of American politics right now. It's a big deal. But, you know, at this point, it's going to be wait and see. I doubt we'll see much of any reaction other than just the shock of, you know, seeing a former president go through a process like this for the next couple of weeks.
We have seen some strong defenses of the former president from Republicans, though we should say some senators have said what he's at least accused of is very serious. Do you see these charges impacting political support for him?
Oh, it's going to be a really interesting process. I see this happening on two different levels. You know, among Republicans, every time the former president faces, you know, new controversies, there seems to be a rallying around him that takes place. So, you know, he'll probably raise a lot of money by suggesting this is a political witch hunt, you know, by his opponents. He might even become a little stronger among Republicans who might, you know, vote for in the primaries in the coming year. But in the country as a whole, you know, these types of things have the opposite effect. And among political independents, I can't help but imagine that it's not going to be very helpful for the president to be facing criminal charges, especially about something involving the Espionage Act.
Professor Hetherington, thanks so much for your insight, and we certainly hope to talk to you as this continues to go in terms of the trial proceeding. Thanks so much. And WRAL is staying on top of this historic indictment. Stay with us throughout the evening for full breakdowns about Trump's court appearance, as well as the announcement coming from the former president expected tonight.
And now to some more breaking news today. I-40 in Johnston County back open after a tractor trailer